Hi, I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother. Today I'm going to share an overview and review of Kingdomino Origins. It's ages 8 and up, 2 to 4 players, and it takes 25 minutes. Let me show you how to play. Kingdomino Origins has 3 different modes of play, and we're going to start with Discovery Mode. And all you do for Discovery Mode is you set it up like a standard version of Kingdomino. Ignore any of the other things in the box besides the little fire tokens. Those are going to come into play with volcano pieces. So like regular Kingdomino, you line up the first 4 by number. We have a 2-player game here, so you get to have 2 of each kind of your meeple out. If it was a 3 or 4-player game, everybody would just have 1 in instead. Shake it up, get to see who goes first. Green will get to select first, then pink gets to select twice, and green again. So we'll just say they are selecting this, and then they don't place them yet. You put out the next 4 tokens according to number. This is a high-scoring round of numbers. Flip them over, and what you're going to do is green is going to place on create his kingdom, and again, the center is wild, and you start placing around that. In a 2-player game, you can choose to just use half of the dominoes and make a 5x5 grid, or you can use all of them and make a 7x7 grid, which is also really fun. And we'll go ahead and have pink do things as well. All right. And you see here, it's okay to place this here because there's at least 1 spot that matches. And we'll go ahead and do this. And then we'll show you how the volcanoes work, it's really fun. It's very simple, and it adds quite a bit. Oops, we'll do 20, 26, 28, 37. There we go. And what happens when you place a volcano? Pink gets to place a volcano first. So they really like volcanoes, so we'll have them do that. They're going to go ahead and place the volcano here. And if it has just 1 spout at the top, see how this one has 2, this one has just 1, you get a single flame, but it can move up to 3 spots, either in a straight line or it can go diagonally, and you can select a spot. We'll go ahead and say they place it just 2 in the desert, and then the flames count as your points at the end of the game instead of the crowns. And so this area is already worth 2 flames times 2 spots. So it'd be 4 points already at the end of the game, and it's going to add on. So that's all it is. That's the only addition from regular Kingdomino if you want to do the discovery mode. So it's very simple, very easy. If he's going to go ahead, and we'll just say he places it right here. The double one, you get to have 2 flames, and he can only move it 2 spaces. So we'll go ahead. He can't put it on a spot that already has flames. So you couldn't do that and have it be 4 flames. So it has to be an unoccupied spot, and we'll go ahead and have him put it on one of the water spots because, or one of the ice spots. That's allowed. And so that's all there is to the first mode of play. And we'll go ahead and have him put this here. There we go. Next, we're going to talk about totem mode, and I'm going to use our existing setup. And all you do for totem mode is you introduce these cute little resources, and then you can get these bonuses for having the most of those resource tiles at the end of the game. And all you do for this is if there's a spot that has that picture on it, when you are placing it, it should have it on there, and you get to have a bonus if you have the most of those tokens. However, the trick is if there had originally been a resource here and you wanted to place the fire tokens from the volcano there, your resource is gone. It has been burned up by the volcano, which is somewhat unfortunate for your resource, but a lot of times strategically it is worth it to do it. Please note that the desert does not have any resources on it. Some of them have flames, but there's no resources on the desert. So a lot of times if you have a big cluster of desert and just put all of your volcano flames on there, that can be very advantageous. So then as soon as you have the most of a certain type, you get to have the token for that. This person has a few woolly mammoths, and so they have the bonus token for that. And these change during the game, and you have to have the majority. So if somebody gets 2 fish, then they are just tied with this player, and they wouldn't get it until they had more fish. Nobody has any of the flint right now, so that bonus is unclaimed. And he has, oh, he doesn't have mushrooms. He has mushrooms, and he has the woolly mammoth. For the end of the game, there is a handy scoring sheet. And if you are playing with these resources, you ignore all the cavemen. That's for the 3rd level. That's for tribe mode. And you just go through and count up your number of flames times connecting spaces. And then you get to have 1 point per resource on your board. And then you get to include any bonuses you have for having the most of a specific kind of resource. And then that's it. You just tally up your score from there. And finally, we have tribe mode. I've skipped along a little further into the game so that they'll be in a position to actually recruit the cavemen. First thing, if you are playing in this mode, you no longer use the totems, remove them from the game. You still are going to have resources, but you use them to recruit the cavemen. And this is how that looks. It is green's turn to select. So they're going to take the domino they'd already selected, and we'll just go ahead and have them place this here. They place the domino here. They've selected this one. And now this is the point at which they can recruit a caveman. For any of the cavemen flipped up, you shuffle up the whole stack of them and flip them out here. You can purchase any one of them by using 2 different resources. That's it. You also have access to any of the ones in the stack if you use 4 different resources, which is only used under extraordinary circumstances. Usually you just do 2 resources. So this player would go ahead and they're going to purchase one of the cavemen with just points on them, one of the warriors. So we'll have him use a fish and a flint to purchase this one, place it here, and then you take a new one and flip it out. This is worth just 3 points. There's a description of the rules of what all the different cavemen do. Let me show you why these are great here in a second. We'll go ahead. He's going to take, there's the triple volcano out, and that's really awesome. So he's going to be excited about that. Choose that one. We'll just go ahead and have him place this here. And now he's going to purchase another one, and he'll use the fish and this woolly mammoth to purchase another one of the warrior cavemen. And when you have the ones just with the numbers at the top, if you have a bunch of them next to each other, you add up the numbers and multiply it by the number of spots that they're on. So this is 3 plus 2 is 5 times 2. This is worth 10 points. This is worth 10 additional points, just these 2. So that was pretty great. The resources are not worth any points at the end of the game unless they are valued by one of the caveman cards, which I'll show how that works over here in a second, because Pink is going to purchase one as well. We'll just go ahead and have him place, oops, there goes his little resources, this here, and he's selected another one, and he has a bunch of these mushroom guys, so he is going to use a flint and a fish he's going to use a flint and a mushroom, because you can't place these on a spot that has a fire token on it. You can't place them on volcanoes. That seems unsafe. And so it can't be flames, can't have a resource, so you might as well use the resource and place it on there if that's what's going on. And then now this around this spot, any of these spots that have a mushroom on it is going to earn him an extra 4 points, and there's 3 mushrooms, so that's going to earn an extra 12 points. So at the end of the game, you go through and again, you use the scorecard and you tally up all of the normal scoring for the number of spots of the same type by flames, multiply those together, add them up. You skip this section, these 2 rows, those are for totem mode. You don't get individual points for these anymore, and you don't get the totem scores. And then they go through all of the different bonuses. The scorecard is really handy. And you go through, and if you have that type of bonus, you add up the score for it. Same bonuses for having a complete kingdom without missing anything and having your hut or in the middle of your kingdom, and add up your score, and whoever has the most is the winner. So that's how to play Kingdomino Origins. The target demographic for this game is adjustable, and so it can fit a wide audience of people who want to play a game with you, which is really great. I would say though that whoever owns this game should be enough of a board game person that they would be able to handle all 3 different levels of gameplay. But besides that, if you have somebody who knows how to play, they can adjust it to fit whoever they're playing with, which is really fabulous. The rule complexity is medium. There's a bit going on because there are 3 different levels of gameplay, but I would say once you have played through the different levels once, the gameplay is so intuitive and just makes sense, and it kind of works together so seamlessly that when we played this, after we played through the 3 different levels, we basically never had to reference the rules again. It's not one of those games where, oh, you keep on going back to the rule book. So there's a bit going on because there are 3 different levels, but it's not anything particularly tricky. And once you've got it down, then you're set. How competitive is this game? It's medium. It's a competitive game, but the way the tile selection works, it seems very fair. There's always something that you're able to do on a turn. So you are mostly, it feels like you're competing against yourself. It's not like somebody's getting you on a move. So it is competitive. You're trying to get the most points, but not in a way that people are going to have angst or have fights with each other. How replayable is this game? It is very replayable in part because of the tiered level of play. You can just match it with whatever group of people that you're playing with. When I'm playing with my child, he loves the totem mode. When I'm playing with my husband, or if we're taking it to an adult game night, tribe mode is really fun. So it's just a game that you get to the table a bunch because it is so flexible and all 3 levels of play work so well. If you like this game, similar games I would recommend are Ohanami, which is a card game that kind of works in the same way where you are drafting a couple cards each turn, and then you get to place them down strategically on 3 piles of cards that you're creating and trying to get the most points at the end. And that, unlike this one, is very portable, which is really nice. And then the other one I would say is Silver and Gold, which is made by Pandasaurus Games, who also makes Ohanami. They make great little compact, short, but very engaging and fun games. And in Silver and Gold, you have polyomino, like Tetrasy type shapes that you're flipping over and then you're filling in on Treasure Island cards, and you're trying to fill out cards, and there's bonuses, and you're trying to get the most points for that as well. And those are 2 of our games that are just our go-to game night games and get a ton of play, just like Kingdomino Origins. So I hope you check it out, and thanks, and see you next time from Game Like a Mother.